Welcome back to New Rockstars. This is Big Question, the show that gives you too much information about Spider-Man No Way Home, a movie with a plot that fans know more about than the actual actors do. My name's MT, and I'm here today with the one amazing, one and only Erik Voss. How you doing today, Erik?
Oh, I'm doing great, MT.
Spider-Man No Way Home is coming this December, and fans are speculating that, along with the return of Alfred Molina as Doc Ock and Jamie Foxx as Electro, we're also getting cameos from Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, despite those actors' denials. So, Erik, are Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield going to be in Spider-Man No Way Home or not? And if not, why are so many people convinced that they are going to be in the movie?
One of the biggest questions of the century, honestly.
That's a good one.
Well, I should say Andrew Garfield has denied it. I don't know if Tobey Maguire has denied it. Other people have denied that Tobey Maguire's in it. I don't know if he himself. Tobey's a slippery guy. He's hard to get your hands on. That's by design.
Give me rent.
Get out of the way!
Well, I'm glad we're talking about this, though, because this is a conversation we don't really normally go into at New Rockstars because we're not scoopers. Like, we don't have inside sources, and we generally avoid leaks, or what people say are leaks on places like Reddit or 4chan. MT and I are just film nerds. We react to the movies and the TV episodes, the trailers, the interviews, the widely reported news when it comes out, and then we analyze and we theorize from there. And as you've known, our theories are often debunked. That's like the fun of it, right?
Yes, it's literally like it's what's part of being like a nerd scientist. That's what I call it. Yes. It's like, you know, we put out a hypothesis, doesn't work out. It's okay. Then we just put up a new one. That's what makes it fun.
That's what makes it fun. But really, this whole narrative that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are going to be coming back in Spider-Man No Way Home. And a lot of people are saying that Daredevil Charlie Cox is going to appear as well. And every villain that's been in every Spider-Man movie ever. It's turned into such a speculation frenzy where no one can be believed at this point. And I think we've kind of lost sight of reality. We can't even talk about this movie without addressing this question. So this episode, MT and I are going to lay out the facts. We're going to cut through the bullshit. We're going to explain the timeline of how we got here. And that does include the role New Rockstars has played in this narrative. Our hands are not clean. I would like all of you to join us as we go down this rabbit hole of Spider-Man into the store. But let's catch everyone up on the background. It all really started with Sam Raimi, the man, the myth, the legend. He directed, of course, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man trilogy with Kirsten Dunst and James Franco.
So good.
Now, a lot of people don't know this, but there were plans for a fourth Sam Raimi film that was going to be in 2011, and it was going to feature John Malkovich's Vulture, and then cash in on all these other seeds that Raimi planted for The Lizard, Dr. Connors, and Bruce Campbell as Mysterio. Bruce Campbell appears in all those movies in different roles, and then they storyboarded out an opening shot where he was going to get arrested because he's still like the failed actor Mysterio, Quentin Beck.
Oh man, I would have loved to see it. He would have killed it.
It would have been great. Maybe one day we'll get to actually see it. But Raimi graciously stepped aside, and he let Sony move ahead with a reboot from director Mark Webb that was going to star Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker. And that leads us to the 2012 Amazing Spider-Man that featured Rhys Ifans as a Lizard and Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy. And then there was a 2014 follow-up with Jamie Foxx as Electro and Dane DeHaan as Harry Osborn. Followed the death of Gwen Stacy arc. It ended with a kind of tease for a Sinister Six future, but mixed reactions. One of the less
I like how you said Harry Osborn and not Green Goblin, because I like whatever the hell that was. It wasn't Green Goblin.
Not my Goblin.
Not my Goblin at all.
So in 2015, miracle! Sony inked a deal with Marvel to share Spider-Man and reboot him again with Tom Holland in the MCU, the one we now live with and know and love.
Yes, that's when happiness first entered my heart.
It's been great. From that one song in Civil War that I'm doing a terrible rendition of.
Oh my god. Literally the entire freaking audience went erupted in cheers.
Now, And then we've seen all the movies that we've known. The films directed by John Watts, Homecoming, Far From Home, the team-up movies, Infinity War, Endgame. But despite the success, I think most people like Tom Holland. There have been fans who don't want to erase the legacy of Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. There's a lot they like about those movies. And when, during this time, we've seen like a Star Wars The Force Awakens bring back all these old faces. They just bring those actors back. Actors that we thought we'd never see again. And the hope has always been that Marvel could deliver that same kind of fan service in some way. So that brings us to our second era of the early speculation, what I like to call the fun times of how these theories began.
Yes.
And it started in July 2017 when Tom Holland was promoting Spider-Man Homecoming, and he told BBC Radio 1 that, if Uncle Ben were ever to come into the MCU, since, as of now, we have not met the MCU version of Uncle Ben, Tom Holland said,
I kind of want Tobey Maguire to play Uncle Ben. I think that would be super funny, but I don't think he'll do it.
Ah, yes, fan casting Tobey Maguire as the MCU Uncle Ben. And a lot of people started buzzing about that. Because, that'd be fun. It'd be fun for Tobey Maguire
to kinda... It'd be so great to see that. Like, when he first said that, I was like, yo, that has to be the plan, because I would love to see that callback.
With great power comes great responsibility.
There are cars there, mother. Get out of the way!
Okay, then jump ahead to December 2018. This is when Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was released, and it introduced general audiences to Miles Morales and the multiverse and the idea of different versions of Spider-Man all appearing on screen together. And this movie specifically references details from the Raimi films. It goes on to win an Oscar, so you can see people start brewing these ideas of like, can we see this in live action? Can we see multiple Spider-Men in a room together?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like Into the Spider-Verse did a fantastic job with like breaking down the concept of a multiverse, and like especially with those references to the Raimi Spider-Man films. People are just like, oh, okay, so we got little elements from here and little elements from there, but like they're their own universe, and like I'm ready for this now. I'm ready to see this.
And then in July, Far From Home premieres, but it does reintroduce J.K. Simmons, who is in the Raimi films as J. Jonah Jameson, and it's now J. Jonah Jameson in the MCU. And people's minds are blown because we're like, wait, is he the same character? Is he an alternate reality version of the character? Sometime later, Simmons is asked about it, and he said that Sony actually wanted it to be a different version of the character, but he wanted it to be the same. So they ended up compromising on this version being bald without the hairpiece. Well, some other things to remember about Far From Home. It ends with Peter Parker in legal trouble, and a lot of fans were wondering if that meant Matt Murdock could step in as his defense attorney. It also includes, weirdly, a reference to Bonesaw McGraw, Macho Man Randy Savage's character, who was unique to the first Raimi film, that universe. He was based on Crusher Hogan from the comics, but Bonesaw McGraw was a Raimi character, and he gets mentioned on a poster in Far From Home. So that just leads to more speculation that we're going to get more Raimi-era crossovers and cameos in these movies.
So basically what you're saying, that this whole universe, multiverse, is the McGraw-verse.
Yeah, pretty much. He's at the heart of it. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone is made of Slim Jims.
Step into a Slim Jim. Oh, yeah.
I want one version of McGraw in every universe.
Yeah, and Kevin Feige even seems to tip his hat to this. He's always tipping that hat in different directions, but there's a big one at San Diego Comic-Con later that month where he said that the multiverse still exists in the MCU despite Mysterio lying about it. It still exists, and that's what led him to announce Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. It was going to come out in May 2021, and then a couple months later, Spider-Man 3 was locked in to come out right after that in July 2021. But then things got confusing. As Hulk says, these are confusing times.
Wait, which Hulk do you mean? You mean the Hulk Randy McGraw? These are confusing times, brother.
Now you're crossing. Oh, that's different. That's a different Hulk. So we're talking about, remember September 2019. That's when it seemed like Spider-Man was canceled from the MCU. All of us lost our minds.
Yes,
because
our hearts were broken.
Yeah, Disney and Sony went into renegotiation for how they were going to share Spider-Man. Disney wanted to up their profit sharing from 5% to 50%, really. They ended up settling for 25% while keeping, I think, 100% of the merchandise, which is really where all the money is made. It's insane. Yeah. It just allowed them to be able to sell Spider-Man stuff in Disneyland and Disney World, which is, all is about toys in Disney World.
It's always about the toys in general.
That's, the gift shop. You exit through the gift shop.
Let's leave!
But the door is locked, and the only way out is through the...
But they also agreed to share Spider-Man for a third solo film, which would end up being No Way Home, and then an additional MCU team-up movie featuring Spider-Man. And Feige got us all a little excited by saying in his statement, quote, Spider-Man also happens to be the only hero with the superpower to cross cinematic universes. So, as Sony continues to develop their own Spideyverse, you never know what surprises the future might hold. Multiverse confirmed!
Oh man, that was a crazy day. That was
It was a big day. So jumping ahead, things get a little bit more confusing. In January 2020, Scott Derrickson gets removed as director from Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and then replaced with Sam Raimi of all people.
Yes, which was a weird, weird mixed feeling type of thing, because I love Scott Derrickson's
Me too.
Doctor Strange 1. He's like a fantastic director, but like Raimi getting to direct the Doctor Strange film you always wanted to direct. I got to see that. I really do. So it was like a weird dichotomy, a weird mixed feeling type deal.
First time.
Everyone pointed out that moment from the second Spider-Man movie in 2004 where J.K. Simmons, the first character to cross over from the Raimiverse, said,
Doctor Strange.
That's pretty good. But it's taken.
So people are like, whoa, he called this shot a decade ago. It blew our minds. People are just saying, is this like Raimi directing both these movies? What's really going to happen here? And then things got super confusing in January of 2020, where the Morbius trailer was released. And despite assumptions that this would be taking place in kind of a separate world, the way Venom and Venom 2 are, at the end of that trailer, the MCU vulture, Michael Keaton, Adrian Toomes, shows up, says, "What's up, Doc?"
It confuses everyone.
Huh?
Literally.
What?
No, I feel like no one really cared about Morbius until showed
that
up.
shot.
And then now it's like, all right, we have to see Morbius to see how this is going to tie into the MCU.
No one cared who I was till I
tie into the MCU.
Yeah, on top of the fact that there was graffiti of a Spider-Man with murderer written over it, but it was the Raimi era Spider-Man.
Which was very odd. And people were like, what is going on here? Why
what is
Raimi
going on?
Spider-Man when we're dealing with, obviously, Tom Holland dealing with the aftermath of Spider-Man Far From Home? So it's just like, why would you do this? Like, there's a lot of really confusing things happening at this point.
And things got even more confusing in February 11th of 2020 when Morbius set photos were showing a Where is Spider-Man bus ad that showed a Daily Bugle logo, but it was the Raimi era Daily Bugle logo that's now in the Venom 2 trailer. And then, in light of this confusion, new Rockstars, looking for video ideas and theories to speculate on, we released a video titled Spider-Man New Easter Egg, Tobey Returning? And we put a thumbnail with that bus ad and Tom Holland Spider-Man and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I want to say about this video, I offered 3 theories for what this could mean. I didn't say that any one of those things would be true, but to be honest with everyone, I want Tobey to come back. I want the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, all these characters to be in one shared Spider-Verse. That's what I want.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, that's like the most fun version of this.
Duh.
But as I've been proven with many of my theories, I get debunked all the time. I'm totally ready to take the L on it. Like, it seems a bit of a reach. But here's a lesson that we have learned here at New Rockstars is that a lot of people will really just react to our thumbnails alone and then spread that as news. As news, not a theory. They don't see that distinction as well as we try to make it. Actually, we looked into this. According to our analytics, most commenters do not watch more than 30 seconds of a video before commenting.
It's very true.
Not. You probably commented on this video that you're watching right now within the first 30 seconds. That's why people always go first at the bottom. Like, it's so weird. And we've realized that the thing they are reacting to is not the opening 30 seconds of the video. They're reacting to the thumbnail. It's literally, they see the thumbnail and they're writing underneath the picture of that thumbnail.
If only the thumbnail could have its own comment section, that would be so much better.
Right. Big lesson learned from this. Nothing on YouTube. Write this down, kids. Nothing on YouTube is more powerful than Spider-Man in the thumbnail. Because
it's true.
If you put Spider-Man in your thumbnail, your video, that will set it up for success. I don't know what it is, but people freaking go crazy over Spider-Man.
It can even be, I don't know, a mukbang. Just put on a Spider-Man mask, millions of views. I don't even know what I'm saying.
Let's get back to the timeline here. We're now in March 2020, which we know what happened here, right? Biden won Super Tuesday. Also, there was a thing called COVID-19, and it shut down everything. It changed our lives forever, right?
Wait, when was that?
What was that?
What?
Huh? Wait, I don't believe in that. No, what? No.
What?
Get
COVID-19?
vaccinated.
Wow.
Get vaccinated.
COVID-18.
So what that means for film nerd YouTube is it basically shuts down production and it delays pretty much all the movies and TV releases that outlets like us and many other news outlets planned to make content about and had contracts with advertisers to make content about, had plans to go on tour to podcast festivals to talk about. All that got canceled. And basically YouTube freaked out and revenue plummeted. CPMs, which is how they calculate how much ad revenue you make per video, just bottomed out. And what that meant is that creators like us and many others got kind of desperate for scoops, for news. Like, we're like, we don't have anything to talk about anymore. We used to have like pretty much daily content about a new movie coming out or a new trailer coming out, a new casting news coming out, all that ground to a halt.
What am I gonna do without my content?
So the way new Rockstars strategized getting through this period was like doing rewatches of past movies. So we did a rewatch in the Infinity Saga.
Infinity Saga rewatch.
We also watched the Sam Raimi trilogy. We watched the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies. We watched a couple DCEU movies that we hadn't done breakdowns for. We started to do the X-Men movies. And we covered shows like Rick and Morty and The Boys. You know, we tried to fill in the time as much as we could.
Yeah.
We barely got through it. But let's all admit, it also led to a higher than usual period of like fan theories and speculation and false reports because people were like, whoa, Evan Peters is going to be in WandaVision? Let's make 10
we were
videos about this.
jonesing, bro. We were just like, wait, what you got? Can someone please just tell us anything?
Oh, yeah. Yep. So during this time, theories are going nuts. And in April 2020, responding to rumors that Spider-Man 3 was going to feature Matt Murdock as Peter Parker's lawyer, Charlie Cox actually denied it. He denied any involvement at comicbook.com. He said, I hadn't heard those rumors, but it's certainly not with my Daredevil. I'm not involved in it. If that's true, it's not with me, it's with another actor. So then on April 24th, Sony delayed Spider-Man 3's release from July 16th to November 5th, 2021, and then delayed it again to December 17th, 2021, which is when it's coming out now. But that gave fans more time to speculate and Sony more time to just say nothing about it, right?
Yeah, that's what they love to do. Just to completely just like, hey, we're just going to push it back and then just, just let you guys just talk about it.
Go crazy.
Good. It was getting a little chummy around here.
So then other stuff in the nerd world is happening. That's a big deal. May 2020, Zack Snyder confirms that the Snyder Cut is happening. It's going to release on HBO Max, which is a huge victory for everyone who had been pushing to release the Snyder Cut. And really, it validated this whole idea to speculate over a film about the narrative behind the scenes, right? Like deleted scenes, alternate cuts, when studios might lie to you, Because basically, when the Snyder Cut got released, it confirmed all of it. And we're still hearing more headlines about what like Joss Whedon did behind the scenes. Like, that changed everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those headlines, bro. Oh boy.
So then late in the summer, New Rockstars, we've been doing show like this, Big Question, and Zach Huddleston and I did an episode called All Spider-Man Movies Connected in Live Action Spider-Verse. And it was really just Zach and I going through Easter egg by Easter egg in all of these movies that connects to each other. Now we enter the next phase of this process that I'm calling the Scoop Rush.
Scoop Rush.
So it kind of kicks off around August 19th when We Got This Covered claims to have a source saying that Tobey Maguire is in, quote, active talks to return as Spider-Man for a cameo in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, the intel that they quoted is a source that they said was also correct about Netflix developing an Extraction sequel. So if they're right about that, they should be right about this, right? Well, we have to do this. A note on scoopers. So what are scoopers? How do they work? Well, an abbreviated version of this. Unlike theory channels like New Rockstars, scoopers claim to be reporters with insider access. And unlike us, credibility is everything to them because they're trying to be journalists. They're trying to present themselves as credible news, and they only really function if their future predictions or their reports come off as being credible. Whereas we try to just do theories. I say every time, my theories are probably going to be wrong. Just go with me. But since these folks are unaffiliated with any legitimate news outlet, what they do is they'll make as many claims as possible so that if any one of these claims are proven right, they can claim absolute credibility. But they never share their sources. Instead, what they'll do is they'll claim that their source was right about one or two things in the past, but they never point out how many times that source was wrong, which is more often than not a lot more than the times they were right.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
Or whether any of those scoops were actually obvious calls that anyone could claim. Like, I remember there was one where, like, that guy said that time travel was going to be an endgame. And I look back and he's like, my sources tell me that endgame will feature time travel. To which I was like, doy. Like, as soon as people were dusting in that montage in Infinity War, in the back of many nerds' heads were like, oh, they'll probably use time travel to fix it, right? Like,
yeah,
that's not
it's like,
a scoop.
this is not going to be a permanent thing. It's just common rationality that people had, and like you just run that as a story. That doesn't make sense.
And the troubling thing is that rather than take the L when they're wrong or when they're called out, here's what they'll do. They'll duck the question and they'll just move on to another juicy scoop. They'll act like they never said, or they'll kind of change their words, or they'll do some verbal gymnastics. They'll be like, well, what I actually said was this. And then they'll just kind of play the victim if people keep calling them out. They'll be like, oh, big media's coming after me. Social media censorship.
No, not you. Not you. Quiet.
I'm getting canceled. And a recent example was one scooper claimed James Gunn was going to cast Zac Efron as Adam Warlock in Guardians Volume 3. And the Gunn saw this and was like, no, that's a bunch of bullshit. And he called them out on Twitter, and that scooper refused to retract. Even when the writer-director of the movie called them out publicly.
You are fake news.
Bro, that's just stubborn foolishness. What the heck? James Gunn has no patience for just scoopers like that. Like, he'll shut you down immediately.
And now, that's not to say, you probably are countering me right now. Well, this one scooper said this and it was right, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of folks out there who know when a trailer is going to drop because they know people who work in media, and they're like, oh, well, we have an advertising spot, or we know a YouTube upload's going to go up. So they can kind of say, we think a trailer's about to go up, and then they're right, you know? So, like, not all of them are complete dirtbags.
Oh, I know. There's really great scoopers out there. Like,
yeah, some of them... there's just varying degrees of credibility, and as a rule, it's not best to just view them as your only source. A lot of those theories get confirmed, it seems, on October 1st, 2020, when The Hollywood Reporter reports that Jamie Foxx is returning to play Electro. Yes. Now, on this report, they don't name who their source is, and Marvel gives no comment. So, why can we trust The Hollywood Reporter and not some of the other people who aren't naming their sources? Well, here's the
Hollywood Reporter.
Because it's the Hollywood Reporter. I mean, major industry trades like the Hollywood Reporter, Deadline, Variety, Entertainment Weekly, many others. Let's put up our trusted sources board here. These folks have editorial track records. They are proven. They have relationships with people in the studios. And now, those relationships, scoopers like to claim, makes these outlets biased. Because, like, well, they don't want to offend the studio heads. But really, that relationship just kind of stops these outlets from making up bullshit. Because if they do, the studios will be less likely to grant them access and exclusives in the future, which is why these scoopers don't get access to these things most of the time. October 2nd, the next day, Jamie Foxx posts on Instagram but then quickly deletes an image showing 3 Spider-Men looking at a rift in the sky with possibly Electro on the other sides. 3 Spider-Men altogether. What? Why did he delete it? Exactly. I'm telling you, deleted posts is a big reason why this is the thing right now. They're like, why did he delete it? Why did he delete it?
Why would you even post it in the first place? What's going on, Jamie?
So then a couple days later, October 4th, scooper Daniel Rickman, Daniel RPK, he has a Patreon where he tells people a lot of stuff. And he's actually been one of the better ones, I think. But he posts that Sony wants to bring back Dane DeHaan to reprise his role as Harry Osborn. And then the next day, Rickman claims that Sony has reached out to Kirsten Dunst to see if she has any interest in returning. Notice how he uses the words, reached out to see if any interest. So if it ends up that Kirsten Dunst isn't in it, we're like, well, she reached out, she never responded to the email. You know, the wording of this is important, right?
Yeah.
So then, October 8th, 2020, The Hollywood Reporter reports Benedict Cumberbatch will be in Spider-Man 3 as Doctor Strange. And you remember this in huge game changer, because to many, this confirms that Spider-Man 3 would be using the multiverse to explain how Jamie Foxx Electro is back and would connect with Raimi's universe now that Raimi is directing Doctor Strange 2 in the MCU. Right. It all started to line up for us.
Oh, yeah. It's all coming together.
Like, why else would Doctor Strange be in this movie other than to shepherd in the concepts of the multiverse?
Exactly.
Big deal.
And then the same day, New Rockstars had already made a video about this, but like now that we had this like coming out in the can, we released a Rogue Theory episode called Spider-Man 3 Spider-Verse Confirmed, Tobey Maguire and Miles Morales crossover. And we had, you can look at this thumbnail, it has Miles Morales, that's Caleb McLaughlin from Stranger Things, as our fan cast Miles Morales, with Toby, Andrew, and Tom in there. So it's Rogue Theory, but people see this thumbnail again, and they're going to take it every which way. And that's just something we've learned during this process. Then on October 12th, Scooper Andy Signor claims that he can confirm Toby and Andrew will be in Spider-Man 3, and he cites an unnamed source at Sony. And then on October 15th, Sony representative tells ET Canada regarding Toby and Andrew rumors, saying, quote, those rumored castings are not confirmed, but it did not matter because at this point, the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield rumor is now irrefutable.
Yeah, it's I like how they said they're not confirmed, which is like very interesting.
Right.
Wording.
People see that and they're like, well, that doesn't mean anything. But before we continue with what happens next with this whole theory uprising, we want to thank some people who helped make this episode, starting with our friends at Mint Mobile. So when it comes to big wireless providers, there's always a catch, right? The cool thing about Mint Mobile is that there is no catch. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they are the first company to sell wireless service online only. By cutting out retail stores, there's no crazy overhead costs that get passed down to you in the form of mystery fees. Instead, Mint just passes on sweet savings directly to you. Here at New Rockstars, Philip switched to Mint Mobile. He kept his phone and number, and he gets great service. He's paying a fraction of what he was paying before switching. For people looking for extra savings, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. All plans come with unlimited talk and text, plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. And if you're not 100% satisfied, Mint Mobile has you covered with their 7-day money-back guarantee. To get your wireless plan for just $15 a month and to get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/bigq. That's mintmobile.com/bigq. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/bigq. We also want to thank our friends at Honey for sponsoring this episode. We've all seen that promo code field taunt us at checkout while we're shopping online. You know, like, do you know the secret code? Do you know it? No?
It's like you can get a discount. Come on, where's the code?
It gives us that savings FOMO. Well, thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupon codes is a thing of the past. Honey is the free shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one it finds to your cart. And when you check out, the Honey button drops down and all you have to do is click Apply Coupons. You wait a few seconds. You hit the Honey button. You wait a few seconds as Honey searches for coupons it can find for that site. And if Honey finds a working coupon, you'll watch the prices drop. Here at New Rockstars, off-screen producer Zach is a huge Honey fan. It got him free shipping on an order from Target.com recently. Honey has found its over 17 million members, over $2 billion in savings. And if you don't already have Honey, you could be straight up missing on free savings. It's literally free and installs in a few seconds. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting this show. We'd never recommend something we don't use. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/bigquestion. That's joinhoney.com/bigquestion. Okay, now back to this whole spider narrative. And then in November, that whole theory that Toby could be playing Uncle Ben is coming back. People are buzzing about that in November. But then something crazy happens. In December 4th, Sony Latin America on YouTube posts a video that they quickly make private. And this video compiled scenes from Sam Raimi's and Mark Webb's and John Watts' respective Spider-Man films. And that video said, quote, "Who is your favorite Spider-Man? You don't have to choose. In the Marvel Multiverse, anything can happen. In Spider-Man 3, you will quite possibly see everyone. Yes, the 3 Peter Parkers saving the world together." What does that mean? Who cut that together? Why did it get uploaded? Who knows?
And do they still have a job?
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, that was a really, I remember when that came out and I was like, oh, this is confirmed. And then it just disappeared, which is very...
It was suspect. So a couple days later, December 8th, another huge bombshell. The Hollywood Reporter reports that Alfred Molina is returning as Dr. Otto Octavius in Spider-Man 3. Another big bombshell. And this is what happens. Pay attention closely to what happens in the days following. Really, on the same day, Collider's Jeff Snyder claims that Jamie Foxx, Andrew Garfield, and Kirsten Dunst will all be returning and reprising their roles, said Tobey Maguire is in talks to return, and that he expects Emma Stone to reprise her role as Gwen Stacy, pregnancy permitting. He cites no sources, but it doesn't matter. The story gets picked up everywhere, because Collider's a good one. We like Collider. We can trust Collider.
Yeah, so Collider's pretty reliable.
Pretty reliable. And then the next day, December 9th, Scooper, Charles Murphy's Multiverse. A fairly reliable one. Not the worst one out there. But I'm doing a disservice by grading any Scooper, honestly. But he claims the next day that Charlie Cox is joining the cast of Spider-Man 3 as well as Matt Murdock and or Daredevil. And then that same day, the JustJared.com Twitter account posts a paparazzi shot of Tobey Maguire in Los Angeles at Wardrobe Workroom for a costume fitting. And then thanks to all this frantic casting news, everyone just assumes that it's going to be Tobey getting suited up for Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, I mean, like, at that point, once again, we were pretty much jonesing for news. Like, it was like that period where, like, we just wanted...
Well, yeah, we all wanted it to be the case. Like, this is a reality we want. And when it's a reality you want, it's so easy to make it the reality you believe is reality.
Exactly.
And,
I mean, Wanda, I mean...
And something we have to look at is the media cycle pattern here. So remember, back in October when Doctor Strange was reported, the same kind of thing is happening here. In December, a legitimate news report comes out. And then, within 48 hours, scoopers see Spider-Man 3 trending, and then they just start posting all these unconfirmed claims to cash in on fan hopes. And they mix it all together as one big story that trends more and more and more. And no one really knows what the truth is at that point because Sony is not ready to market this film. They don't want to leak anything about the plot, so they say nothing. And in that void of confirmation, scoopers and fan theories can feast and grow and evolve.
The more that they say nothing and like the more that like the hype for Spider-Man builds and like it just makes it much harder to find the actual truth because people are just like spreading I don't want to say disinformation, but like less than accurate information based on facts that we don't fully have yet. Which is
information
really...
that can't be confirmed either way. Right?
Yeah.
And now, shameless as we are, on December 9th, new Rockstars released a theory video titled Spider-Man 3 Doc Ock confirmed Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Daredevil 2? ? And I feel like I grew up with Jon Stewart where they'll just say like, oh, if you put a question mark at the end of anything, you're not saying it's true yet. You're just asking if it's true, but people don't always read it that way.
We're not making any claims. I mean, you can think we're making claims if you want, but we're not.
Despite Tobey Maguire Spider-Man being in a portal in the thumbnail, if you watch the video, I do kind of lay out what we know to be fact, and I do my best to separate what has been confirmed versus what has been rumored or speculated.
Always watch the video. Always watch it the full way through.
Yeah. Okay, but then December 14th, Scooper the Illuminati claims that Willem Dafoe and Thomas Hayden Church are in the process of having deals finalized to reprise their roles as Green Goblin, Sandman, and Spider-Man 3. And then December 24th, Christmas Eve, new Rockstars Rogue Theory season finale. We use a thumbnail with Tobey in a portal again, and that was where I won Theory of the Year for a pitch that included Tobey and Andrew making a crossover. But really, it was like a much bigger theory that also involved WandaVision and Loki. I think I, of course, brought in Mephisto in that theory and Multiverse of Madness. And I think I ended with like Doctor Strange playing chess with Charles Xavier. But I don't we'll
Do you
see.
still
Most
have
of
your
it's been proven
Theory
wrong.
of the Year award?
Oh, I don't know. I think all I got was like one of these or something. I don't think I got... Yeah.
Dang, there should be an actual Theory of the Year award. That'd be great.
But at least in this thumbnail, we put the ultimate theory on the thumbnail. So, people
because
at least
it
will
was
see his
the ultimate theory. Let's be real.
It is just a theory. Okay, so now we're in the new year of 2021, January 15th. Comicbook.com claims that Charlie Cox was indeed on the set for Spider-Man 3 and has wrapped filming. They cite no source. Really, all they say is comicbook.com has learned that the actor was indeed on the set for Marvel Studios movie. And then, really, they just cite Charles Murphy's past claim about Cox to try to make it more legitimate. But then, things are getting real interesting here. February 1st, a DoorDash driver in Atlanta claims to have delivered food to Andrew Garfield, but then deletes the posts. But they continue to spread online.
Wow.
What? Why
the DoorDash scoopers are here.
The DoorDash is all over it.
Wow, I didn't think DoorDash would be involved, but here we are. DoorDash.
We got DoorDash.
Where's the Uber intel? Let's get that Uber.
They aren't
intel.
on it. They're not part of the network. They don't know shit. He asked the Uber Eats driver. They're like, they don't know. They're like, which one's Andrew Garfield? Like, get out of here. Okay, so then February 5th, Geeks Worldwide claims that according to an unnamed source, Willem Dafoe was reported on set for Spider-Man 3 and will reprise his role. Oh my god, it's confirmed. So now we enter into our final phase here, where we get confirmations and denials. So the first one was a denial on February 9th, where Tom Holland denied that Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield were in Spider-Man 3. He told Esquire, another legitimate publication, he said, no, they will not be appearing in this film unless they have hidden the most massive piece of information from me, which I think is too big of a secret for them to keep from me. But as of yet, no, it'll be a continuation of the Spider-Man movies that we've been making. But
I mean, it's Tom Holland.
It's Tom Holland. That's the thing. We found we can't always trust Holland. And for many fans, they can't trust any actor for good reason. Paul Bettany freaking toyed with fans about a big cameo coming in WandaVision. That was just
I'll never forgive him for that.
Never forgive him.
I love you, Paul, but like, God, why?
Yeah. Why? Really, the one who broke it was J.J. Abrams and Benedict Cumberbatch back for Star Trek Into Darkness, where people were like, so Benedict Cumberbatch is playing Khan, right? And Abrams was like, no, he's definitely not playing Khan. Lindelof, who I think co-wrote that movie, was like, no, he's not playing Khan. Cumberbatch is like, no, I'm not playing Khan. Movie comes out, Khan. Why didn't you just say he's playing Khan? Why were you hiding that?
They wanted it to be the big twist. Like, I feel like people would have complained that they were retreading territory, so they were like, it's not Khan.
They broke it for the rest of us. February 24th, the title of Spider-Man 3 is confirmed to be Spider-Man No Way Home. And they do it in this fun video that kind of shows all the other titles they were speculating, like Home Worlds, but that was crossed out and called boring, which you could read as a knock against multiverse theories, but MT. Fans are looking into the shape of that border around the title, and they claim it looks like the island of Puerto Rico, which they say is a Miles Morales clue. Confirmed.
Oh shit, Puerto Rico confirmed. The cornerstone of the Spider-Verse is Puerto Rico.
I think only then did I start to get worried about the fan base. I was like, oh my god, what's happened to us? How do we get here?
Hey man, Puerto Rico is it's just very important to the Spider-Man mythos.
Oh yeah. Then some interesting news comes out. I don't know if it's news, but March 19th, William Spencer, who's Andrew Garfield's longtime stunt double, he posts and then deletes pictures from his Instagram account showing him on a set somewhere, supposedly with Greg Townley. We don't know if he's with. He tagged Greg Townley on there, and Greg Townley is Tom Holland's stunt double. So why are they on a set together? What are they doing?
Why they delete the picture?
Why they delete it?
What's going on there?
What is going on?
Greg Townley.
Now, I should say throughout this whole time, there have been all kinds of quote-unquote leaks on Reddit and 4chan. I'm only going to single out one here. This is from Redditor You Spidey Forever 245, who claims another Toby-Andrew crossover plot leak. You can read it yourself. But the reason why this one I think is worth bringing up is because this same person predicted Julia Louis-Dreyfus would be the episode 5 cameo in Falcon Winter Soldier hours before the episode dropped. How did they know? Who did they know? A lot of people, though, because of that, see them as credible. But, you know, look into that person's posting history. You'll see that they also posted leaks like Kamala Khan being Mephisto's daughter and then deleted it. So, I don't know.
Wow. What a stretch. Kamala Khan being Mephisto's not really? I would have never even thought of that in my wildest imagination.
You can make up your own mind on that one. But then, interesting quote last month, February 17th, Alfred Molina told Variety that Doc Ock died in a 2004 movie, but that, quote, in this universe, no one really dies. And that maybe Spider-Man 3 would pick up with his character from that moment in the river, and that they might be using de-aging technology on his appearance. So this kind of sounds like maybe they're kind of bridging the universes together in a kind of multiverse, right?
Yeah, like when that quote came out, I was like, oh, so like we're just literally just doing like a Spider-Man 2.5 type of deal with this movie and like continuing that story with Doc Ock. And like, has gotten mixed opinions because some people just want it to die and other people were just like, yeah, let's give us more Doc Ock.
And the latest news as of this taping, May 4th, 2021, Andrew Garfield went on Josh Horowitz's The Happy, Sad, Confused podcast. Josh Horowitz is great. He always gets like good quotes from people like Kevin Feige. He like knows everyone. And he confirmed or claimed that he is not reprising his role as Spider-Man. And MT, I think you and I should just watch this clip and react to it.
I don't know how to bring up the Spider-Man stuff because obviously I don't even want to like ruin anything if there is something to ruin, except to
there isn't anything to ruin, bro. I had to just quickly cut you off. There's nothing to ruin.
Really?
Like they might be doing something, but then ain't none. Like I ain't got a call. Like I feel like I'm in a game of werewolf or mafia where I'm like, I'm not the werewolf. I promise you, I am not the werewolf. And everyone's like, you're the werewolf. You're the fucking werewolf.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's like, he's doing.
Okay, so for the record, my friend, on a stack of whatever you have there, the unequivocal yes/no answer.
I did not get a call.
And we do recommend you watch the whole interview because Josh Horowitz is amazing. I don't know how he gets these answers out of people. So when this came out, a lot of people we know, a lot of people we respect immediately claimed that Andrew Garfield must be lying. And I get it. I get why they say that because they're kind of doing what everyone who plays Werewolf or Mafia or Resistance, I love that game, they all do this. They all start reading into the denier's words or their body language as if we're all liar experts. But really, we're just going by our own confirmation biases of what we want to be true. And in this case, we want Andrew Garfield to be lying because we want him to be in this movie.
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
I can't even lie. I was feeling the same way while watching it. I was just like, are you really telling the truth, Andrew? Because, like, I really want him to be lying.
Right.
So, like,
me too.
You're totally right.
I feel the same way. And, like, you know, you look at a statement like, I haven't gotten a call. And then you claim, well, you know, he wouldn't get the call. His agent would. Or, you know, he said call, but he didn't say email or text. You know, like he's speaking in code in this moment. Like, this is all scripted ahead of time. And he's just giving a great performance. I don't know. I'm not a lying expert. I can't tell. I don't know Andrew Garfield that well. I can't look at people's pupil dilation and be like, oh, they're sweating more, their heart rate's going up. But I will say that I don't think Andrew Garfield would be that candid in talking about it. And again, I'm not a lie expert. I just think, in my experience, celebrities tend to clam up. They'll say less from fear of losing their jobs than have these long-winded run-ons about Werewolf, where, you know, if you bring up Werewolf and if you're lying, you would never do that because you know as a Werewolf player, the more you talk, the more suspicion you bring on yourself.
Yeah.
If you're lying.
Or maybe he could be doing like a reverse psychology. Like,
right.
Look at me. Right. I'm just saying all this and like, so you guys think that I'm not lying. But like, you never know.
You never know.
Because Andrew Garfield is a great actor.
He's good.
That's the thing. These are actors. It's so hard to figure out if an actor is lying.
Right.
Because this is what they do for a living. They pretend
I'll say as good as Andrew Garfield is, that would be the best performance of his life.
That would be fantastic. If
that would be better than anything we saw in
man.
Social Network, anything in Hacksaw Ridge, anything in those two Spider-Man movies. That would be pretty impressive for him to pull that off. But you're right. It's impossible to know. So we come to our final question. Are we looking at cameos or cameos? I'm sorry.
Cameos.
Well, here's what we can confirm. It seems likely that the multiverse will be involved in this film. At least likely, you know, based on Alfred Molina's quote, based on Doctor Strange's involvement in the plot. Like, why do you bring in the Sorcerer Supreme if you're not going to go explore the multiverse, or at least the implications of the multiverse? As of this taping, we do not have confirmation that means Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, or Charlie Cox will be in it. We could have a totally crazy multiverse story that just doesn't include them. You know, it's also very possible.
I mean, like the Spider-Man 3 or Spider-Man No Way Home rather could just very well just be setting up like a future Spider-Verse trilogy.
Right.
In that like the things that are happening right now don't necessarily include Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield.
Right. And either way, we can't rule out the rumor either. Like, it could totally happen in Spider-Man No Way Home. Like, but we also have to admit, like, as you said, even if the movie comes out and these guys are not in it, in fans' minds, it totally could have happened, right? And it was taken away from them. And that's the tricky thing with this rumor because, you know, MT has said this. We want these to be true. Again, we want a live-action Spider-Verse that brings back everybody. Tobey, Andrew, Willem, Charlie Cox, everybody. We want it. But for now, it remains what we have always said it is here at New Rockstars. It's a theory. And all these claims out there that are being used as evidence for it being a fact, they do not constitute news, my friends. And by sharing them all as a fact, you are perpetuating a broken news system that only exists, that thrives by manipulating you. They need you to just like knee-jerk share something and then think about it later. And by the time you've already shared it, doesn't matter. It's out there. More people are going to see it. My fear with No Way Home is that if it's the case that none of these rumored cameos happen, some of these fans will turn on the movie as if it betrayed them, as if it broke some kind of
that's
promise.
100% going to happen in that scenario, yeah.
And I don't...
Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Like, people's expectations are way too high. And
right.
People are setting themselves up for disappointment.
Well, but the deeper fear I have is that some of these fans will find a villain, and that villain will be someone like John Watts or Kevin Feige, or likely Amy Pascal or Avi Arad, or like Zendaya or something like that. And then scoopers out there will claim more unnamed sources that insist that Toby and Andrew were going to be in this film until whoever that villain was shot it down. So go tweet at that person for the answers. And then all these tweets will come out, and then one particular account will like a lot of these tweets and post certain things and then take it down. And then everyone will be like, wait a minute, is that account Andrew Garfield's throwaway account that he's been using to stalk all these theories? And then that account will never know, but they'll start just dropping these cryptic things like Q. These Q drops, and eventually we'll all see a freaking hashtag that says release the Toby and Andrew cut. Release the Toby and Andrew cut. And then all be on our lives.
Literally looked into the future, because that's
probably going to happen. No matter what happens with this movie, that's going to happen.
100%. I don't know why we keep doing this, but it's just humanity.
It's human nature in the digital age. But we beg of you, take it from guys whose theories are debunked 90% of the time, at least. Just, you can dream big. Dream as big as you want with your fan theories. Share them around, go crazy. But keep an open mind and let the evidence guide you. And whatever the story is when it comes to you, just be grateful for whatever comes. And then you'll be fine.
Yes, exactly. Emphasis on the grateful. The MCU could have never happened. All of this amazing stuff with the MCU, with Sony and Marvel, could have never happened.
Yeah.
So like the fact that we're getting these amazing stories is just incredible. So just be happy.
Just be happy.
Well, thank you for that amazing breakdown of the whole Spider-Man situation. It's a mess. But what isn't a mess is our amazing box of scraps. And today's box of scraps question of the day is, what totally harmless conspiracy theory do you kind of believe in, Erik?
Okay, let's see. Conspiracy theories used to be so much more fun in the 90s, you know?
Until the harm.
Yep. And then the internet ruined them. I love the conspiracy theories that like Loki's digging into, the whole DB Cooper one, the Polybius game one. Those are fun. For a while I was what's it called? The moon conspiracy theorists. You know, that we never, the lunar landing didn't happen. But then I turned 12, so that went away. But okay, I know it's silly and dumb, and you know, people will be annoyed by it, but I kind of believe the fake Melania theory. It's so
you know what? I'm with you, bro.
It's so dumb, and it's probably not true. But I've seen some of those pictures, and I'm like, And,
yo, sometimes it's mad suspect. I'm like, yo, who is this?
Yeah, and so many secrets and lies have been confirmed from that group of people, right? Like it's
totally true.
It's so much of it, so it's like surprised. I wouldn't put it past them because we know really it's clear Melania hates being in that marriage, right? Like she did not want him to be president. She renegotiated her prenup before she moved into the White House. I think that was actually true. So it's like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I just think it's so silly. It feels like the fake Saddam Hussein doubles that they had. You know, it's just such a goofy, like,
it would be
bad comedy
so
movie.
Funny.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, oh my God. Yeah, no, I totally I believe in that sort of too.
I think one of my friends at one point tweeted that she wanted to do a short film or a web series about all the fake Melanias who had to live together. Like, oh, I would pay good money to
Melania
see that
Mansion.
show. Yeah. Just like a Desperate Housewives kind of thing. Or
oh my God. Yo, you're giving these people way too many
I keep saying
ideas
Desperate
right now.
Housewives. I mean like a Real Housewives kind of thing. Like they're all throwing wine at each other. And
the fake housewives of Trump.
The Real Housewives of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Anyway, it's a conspiracy theory. I'm not saying that's a true conspiracy. I just think it's so silly. It's comedic.
It's a very fun conspiracy
fairly
theory.
harmless. Yeah.
I like that one. I have a weird one that I don't think it's like a major conspiracy. This is just a me thing. I dread jury duty so much that I literally refuse to say the words jury duty around my phone.
Oh no.
Because I feel it's totally nonsensical.
Okay. I hope your phone's in another room, MT.
My phone is right here. So if I get jury, I'm scared to say it because I'm afraid to get jury duty. And I've said it like 17 times around my phone. So if I get jury duty, I'm literally going to tell you guys immediately because it's true. But no, it's a totally baseless thing.
MT,
it just happened one time.
Your voice is now beaming across maybe 40,000, we think, people who are watching at this point.
Oh, God.
So if they're all listening off their headphones, they're all going to get your phone's paying to get you jury duty.
Exactly. I've given you all jury duty. I'm so sorry. That's the worst thing I've ever done.
You've given yourself 40,000 jury duties.
Oh yes, I'm totally getting jury duty now. I've said it like a zillion times. Oh God. But yeah, that's my weird thing.
It's not that weird, also, MC. Our phones are listening to us at all times. Yeah.
It's very true.
It's weird.
But that is it for us on today's big question. I want to thank Erik for joining me and giving us all those amazing spider facts. You can follow him at EA Voss, where he posts all amazing stuff and like all that good stuff that you need to know. So please follow him at EA Voss. Follow me at MasterTainment. But most importantly, follow New Rockstars wherever you can find us, especially on YouTube. And when you do on YouTube, make sure to hit that notification bell so you can get notifications every time we upload a video, because we always be uploading some dope shit. Anyways, have a good day, everybody.
Good day, everyone.
Take it easy.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.